Stampers, and thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Sunday video. This is Laura Buechler of Inky Fingers Papercrafting, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Nanaimo, BC. Today I'm so excited to show you the triple cube card. I learned this card from fellow demonstrator Barb Trips, who taught it to us recently at our virtual meeting. And she taught us this version, which uses 12 by 12 inch cardstock. And when you fold it up, it's about 5.5 inches square, of course, not counting any extra decorations that I've added here. And then I learned this smaller version from demonstrator Heather Cooper. You can see I haven't even decorated this one yet. This is the version I'm going to share with you today. It uses 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock and it folds up to 4 inches square. Again, not counting any extra decorations that you might want to add. Now this is a great wow project to show off our gorgeous designer series paper. I'm using Peony Garden DSP, which is one of the 15 papers that's on sale till the end of October for 15% off. You can find that full list on my website, and I've put a link to that in the video description. So the supplies you're going to need for this project are as follows. You're going to start with a piece of cardstock that's almost a square. This is 8 by 8.25 inches. And then I've also got 2 teeny little pieces of cardstock that are the same color, and these are cut to 2 inches by 1/2 inch. Then I've got 6 pieces of gray granite cardstock, and these are cut to 1 7/8 inches square. I've got 6 pieces of Peony Garden DSP, and these are cut to 1 3/4 inch square. And then I've got 6 coordinating pieces of Peony Garden DSP, and these are cut to 1 7/8 inches square. And with these pieces, you can see I'm using a slightly plainer pattern, and you'll see why when we get to the assembly stage. So I'm going to need to do some scoring on my cardstock. Let me just have a look and see which side is which. So that's the 8-inch side, that's the 8 1/4 inch side. So with my large piece of cardstock, I'm going to score along the short side, so along the shorter side of the cardstock at 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches. Then I'm going to rotate that and score along the longer side at 2 inches and at 4 inches. Now I've got that all scored, I'm going to cut along the long side of my cardstock. I'm going to remove this first 2-inch strip and this second 2-inch strip. So that's going to leave me with 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 8 1/4, and then 1 piece that's 4 by 8 1/4. Doing the scoring first and the cutting second just saves me a bit of time instead of having to put the same score lines on 3 different pieces. With my little bitty pieces, I'm going to score these in the center at 1 inch. And I'm going to burnish all these folds with my bone folder. Aside my cardstock, now I'm going to look at my DSP squares. I've got 2 sets of DSP squares. One is a little bit larger than the other, and this set that's smaller is the perfect size to be matted on my cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, the 2 demonstrators I learned from have a little bit different process at this point. Heather's instructions showed how to put on the DSP and then assemble the cubes, while Barb taught us to assemble the cubes first and then slide the DSP into place. Now, when I tried to do it Heather's way, I had a really hard time figuring out which way up to put my DSP, which is why, I don't know if you can see this here, the ferns inside here are totally sideways. I did not put my DSP the right way. So, even though it's a little tricky to do it Barb's way and slide the DSP into place after assembling the cube, that's the way I'm going to do it today. Now, if you're better than I am at spatial reasoning, you may want to try doing these steps in the opposite order. So, to assemble your cubes, all you need to do is put a little strip of tear and tape right on this extra little flap here on each of your pieces, and then fold down the pieces to meet. And I recently learned when you're using this wonderful tear and tape, after you've put it down on your cardstock, you want to just take your bone folder and just run it along like that for a couple seconds, because that heat really helps activate the adhesive and helps it stick. So what you'll do is you'll just fold down that side there and fold down that side there so they overlap, and presto, you've got a cube. And you're just going to repeat that for each of your other two pieces. So, this is the way that your card is going to go together. To achieve this, we're going to make sure that the seam of the large cube, the part where it overlaps, is lying down on the table. And with each of your smaller cubes, you're going to put some strips of tear and tape along one square and then lay it down on top of your large cube. To make sure that my bottom edge is lining up and it's lining up on the right side here. And there's my first cube, and I'm going to repeat the process for the second one. And this time when I put it on, I'll make sure again that it's lining up on the bottom and along the left side. Okay, so there's our card, standing up and folded. Pretty cool, right? Now it's time to do our sentiment. So for that, we're going to need these little itsy bitsy pieces that we cut earlier. And we've got the score line in the center. And I've used a shape from the Tasteful Labels dies to cut out this shape, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. Now I'm using a sentiment from the prized Peony stamp set, which says love and thanks to a dear friend. So I'm just going to stamp that on my little shape here. So with these little pieces, what we're going to do, I'll try to give you the side view here. We're going to attach these sides where my thumbs are to the inside of our cube. It's going to be a little bit tricky to show you, but it's going to go on this side here and on this side here. So see where I've added that piece? And I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay. So now I'm going to add some tape to my sentiment. And I'm going to attach it to those flaps. I'm going to try to make sure that the center of this shape, which we can see from these bumps here, is lined up right at the center of our cube. Press it down a little bit to those flaps, and there we go. So that's how, when we fold up our card and then it opens, that sentiment is going to appear. Now it's time to add these squares of DSP. Now these squares that are matted on the cardstock are going to go on the outside of the card, and these ones with no mat are going to go on the inside. And that's why I wanted to choose a paper that's a little more subtle for these squares. Here comes the tricky bit where we've got to slide these DSP squares into place. And when you do it on this side, you'll end up covering up that little mechanism that you created for the sentiment. So there's our inside pieces and the outside pieces all done. So now that the card is assembled, it's time to decorate. I've got some pieces already stamped and cut, and I'll show you what I used to make those. I used a couple of these flowers from Prized Peony, and I used this little flower from Good Morning Magnolia, as well as the Magnolia Memory dies. I don't actually have the coordinating dies for the peony, so I just fussy cut those. And so now I'm just going to decorate my card. And there's my finished card. Remember that you'll get a chance to win this card when you share the video. Leave a comment below to let me know that you've shared, and maybe I'll be sending you this card in the mail. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please drop me a comment below and let me know what you think. And if there's something specific that you'd like to learn about, just ask. Remember that you can purchase all the products shown on my website, inkyfingers.ca, where you'll also find more project tutorials, current promotional details and catalogs, and the sign up for my monthly email newsletter. I'm not currently offering in-person classes, but you can visit my website to sign up for Creativity to Go, which means once a month you'll get prepared supplies and tutorials delivered right to your door for you to complete on your own schedule. I am also hosting casual Zoom crafting sessions where you can bring any project you happen to be working on and enjoy a fun social crafting time with others. Find all of those details and so much more on my website. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to let you know that I have a Facebook page under Inky Fingers Papercrafting where you can join a weekly creative challenge and win a prize from me. And if you do place an order, please use the current Hostess code, which you can find on my website, because everyone who uses that code will get a free gift from me. If you'd like to earn your own Hostess rewards, all you need to do is place an order of over $200 or contact me and we'll start planning your own online party. Drop me a line for more details. Have a great day, everyone, and happy stampin'. Bye!